Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center. We are live for our Friday edition of our 19 at noon weather show. We've got snow coming in. It is a First Alert weather day. So we're going to dive into all of that here coming up in just a couple of minutes. I want to remind you we are live wherever you stream on the 24/7 weather streaming channel, fox19.com, YouTube, and of course on Facebook. And on Facebook, you can post comments. And if you have any comments you'd like to, questions yet to ask, anything you want to add to this forecast, of course, respectfully, we can have a nice little conversation here heading into the midday hour. So again, hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here. And we are looking at that snow eventually moving in. Right now, it is dry, actually. So we kind of said this, too. We said the snow is going to begin at around 11 a.m. to our west and southwestern counties. Cincinnati right now, you can still see cloudy conditions. No flakes are falling just yet. It's still cold, and we do have a lot of dry air between the surface and the cloud base, and so a lot of this snow having a hard time to develop, despite the fact that we showed you earlier today radar was trying to show snow coming down. It's just not happening yet. It will be happening, though, going into this midday and afternoon. So we'll go ahead and begin with our radar and satellite here. So what we've got is snow already showing up towards the Louisville Metro and Lexington Metro, so it is going to head in our direction as we go on into the next couple of hours. So here's what I'm saying, is radar's having a hard time. It's trying to show snow. It's not there. Might be a few flurries in Brown Adams counties. It looks like there's a little bit of better reflectivity showing up there, but we are looking at snow down here making its way into our southwestern locations. Also in our western locations, perhaps a few light snow showers beginning to develop there. Could be a few flurries. Let me know what you're seeing if you're in Decatur, Ripley, Franklin County, perhaps Switzerland County, Carroll, Owen counties. Would appreciate any comments on what you're seeing, and maybe you're seeing a few flurries. If you are, let me know too, because sometimes radar is not the bestest of friends when it comes to trying to track snow, especially. Whereas rain, a little bit easier, but snowflakes can be a bit more on the tricky side. So here's kind of the regional view. What we're seeing is this kind of line of energy here. We call it a trough. That is moving in as we speak. That trough is going to initiate these snow showers this afternoon. And this trough is a part of a pretty big winter storm that's affecting folks further off to the south. And you can see here snow extending all the way down into Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, into the Carolinas, in addition to sleet and even freezing rain for them. And so they are looking at some significant impacts down that way. So we'll take a look at the latest with the winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories, and of course we have a winter weather advisory for us here in the Fox 19 Now viewing area, whereas everyone further south is dealing with much more significant issues than us here at this point. So let's go ahead and take a look right now at our forecast model. This model's been doing a fairly decent job, so we're going to time this out for you. And what we've got is maybe a few flurries, light snow showers to our west and to our southwest. This model doing an okay job at detecting that. It's been going back and forth on this because it's really hard to detect with how radar has been acting up. But you can see here, this is the kind of beginning stages of that snow moving in. We'll go ahead and play this out a little bit forward in time. We head into 1, 2 o'clock. This is going to become a bit more widespread. So we go into 1, 2 o'clock. I will be surprised if some folks who are northeastern counties by 2 o'clock are still dry because of just kind of the nature of how this thing has been developing. But areas along and south of the Ohio River and southeast Indiana, I do believe we'll see some scattered snow showers at 2 o'clock. We head into 3, 4 o'clock. That's when things are going to begin to get interesting with more widespread snow. It's going to be mainly light snow, but there will be some pockets of moderate snow depending on where that trough or that wave of energy is going to set up. Right now, this model has it all the way up here at this point at 3, 4 o'clock. We'll play this out a little bit further in time, and you can see by 5, 6 p.m. You can see maybe some pockets of moderate snow trying to pick up here in portions of the tri-state. So wherever that moderate snow band sets up, we could see higher amounts closer to 4 inches of snow, but most of the tri-state will be 2 to 3 inches of snow here going into this evening, into tonight. And we continue by 10 o'clock still. Some scattered snow showers. Frank will be tracking that here throughout the evening and overnight tonight as that snow does continue. And we go into late tonight after 1, 2 a.m. it tapers off. Maybe a few flurries for Saturday morning, but otherwise tomorrow a cloudy, colder day. So our changing, we've showed you this yesterday. It's the same, and it's the fact that we're looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow. And a lot of this is pretty much the majority of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. 1 to 3 inches of snow perhaps to our far eastern locations. But this is our thinking. We haven't changed it. It's the same, 2 to 4 inches of snow. It's going to create some issues on travel, especially on untreated area roadways, and of course for bridges and overpasses with temperatures well below freezing. So between now and 3 o'clock, that snow is developing. As I said, this thing is getting a little bit slower because of that dry air that we have over top of the tri-state. After 3 o'clock, that's when we're going to begin to see travel issues begin to show up. I'm only calling it moderate impacts. I'm not looking at this to be a high impact event. Will it cause slowdowns? Yes. It's a Friday, though. We already have slowdowns on Fridays, but it is going to be enough to where it's going to warrant being patient, cautious with driving, slowing down. Don't be hitting the gas and brakes too hard because we'll have enough slushy roadways where the accumulation is going to create some travel issues. After 10 o'clock, though, the snow becomes more isolated, but still looking at moderate impacts because untreated roadways, temperatures falling down into the low to mid-20s, it's going to create some icy conditions. So again, we are looking at impacts. This is nothing by any stretch like Sunday and Monday, but it's enough to create problems, and that's why it's a first alert weather day. We'll go into more details or more specifics on this if you are now joining us here on 19 at noon in a moment, and also look at that 7-day forecast and the weekend forecast in a moment. But of course, it's first alert weather day, so we've got to point these things out first. But we'll take a pause here real quick, look at our Facebook comments and questions before we move on here. Okay. Joy asks, what time should Gallatin County expect to see snow and how much? Joy, like I said, 2 to 4 inches of snow. I would say for Gallatin County, probably closer to 3 to 4 inches of snow, whereas we are looking at a lot of locations, including Cincinnati, more on the 2 to 3 scale with this. But the timing for you, Joy, would be in the next 90 minutes. We'll begin to see snow showing up for you. Melissa says not snowing in Aberdeen, Ohio just yet. Nicholas says nothing in Florence yet. Thank you for the ground truth. I know sometimes radar's trying to show snow and it's not. And sometimes it shows nothing and it is snowing. That kind of happened earlier this week on Wednesday down in Owen and Carroll counties. At the end of the day, every instrument we use in weather, it's a tool. It's not something we can say is certain, but it does help us with knowing what's happening closer to the surface. But unfortunately, in this kind of event, it's having a really hard time detecting where the snow is. But what we've got here, again, is snow eventually moving in. What I'm going to do is kind of put this up at full screen. So right in here, you see how it's getting darker there towards Bloomington? All this stuff here. This is moving in our direction. That is where we're looking at that band of perhaps light to moderate snow. And that's going to become widespread, and it's going to help saturate the layer of atmosphere. That's going to allow that snow to fully come down to the surface. Because right now it's really, really dry. But we're going to see that snow move in here the next couple of hours at this point. Makes forecasting a little bit tricky when it comes to snow. Jane says, hello, Ethan. Megan says nothing in Morning View, nothing in Lawrenceburg. Ashley says not snowing in Osgood, Indiana. Molly asking about heavy snow. We're not looking at heavy snow with this. This is going to be mainly a light to moderate snow event. As I mentioned, pocket of moderate snow can't be ruled out, and I do think it's going to develop. It's just a matter of exactly where heading into this afternoon. But generally speaking, 2 to 4 inches of snow here this afternoon. Jessica asking how the roads will be this afternoon. Depends on where you are, depends on how much manpower or amount of effort is putting into the roadways. I do think road crews, they do a great job. I mean, I'm never going to disrespect a road crew for any location just because they have a lot on their hands, especially with how cold it's been, how many roads they got to take care of. But I will say that I do think the main roads are going to be mainly just wet and slushy. However, if you get caught in that moderate band of snow, there could be some snow-covered roads. But I think a lot of this is going to be an issue for side roads, back roads, bridges, overpasses. It's enough to keep your attention. That's why we issued the first alert weather day. That's why we are looking at this to be something that you need to keep in mind if you're traveling, to take it slow, take it easy. And because 2 to 4 inches of snow, that's enough to create a lot of slowdowns out there, especially on a Friday afternoon. Tasha says, starting to snow in Greensburg, Indiana. Thank you, Tasha. That really lines up with what I was just circling. So you can see some of this darker shade of blue. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe towards Batesville, towards Laurel, Brookville, maybe Connorsville, we're going to begin to see that snow coming down there. Also, see some of these darker shades of blue here, maybe towards Falmouth, maybe towards southern Claremont and Brown County, south of Georgetown, towards Russellville. Maybe, well, somebody to come at Aberdeen, nothing yet. So, again, this is kind of the tricky part of seeing that snow initiate, is when you have radar acting up like this. Nikki says, no, sound is, oh, comment went away. Okay. Audio must be better now. Melissa says, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you watching us. Richard says, have a question. Asking about different forecasts. Well, it depends on what data they're looking at, analyzing, experience. There's a lot of factors that go into this. But I don't want to comment for other stations or other meteorologists. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not going to dive into that. That's not my place. I'm giving you my forecast. I'm giving you the First Alert Weather Team's forecast here, and what we have our knowledge and experience with. So 2 to 4 inches of snow is what we're thinking, Richard. That'll be a conversation for another day. Not important at the moment. Jeff says, we needed this for Christmas. I know. Too bad this didn't happen a few weeks ago. Instead, it's in January. And of course, January is when, in Cincinnati, we see our highest snowfall totals compared to the rest of the winter season. So this checks out, although it is above average so far here this winter. Kimberly says, no snow Middletown. Sheila says, nothing in Williamstown yet. Joy says, thanks. Nikki asking about Highland County. So I think Highland County probably won't see anything until closer to 2 o'clock or so, because of just, again, this dry air. You have to compensate for the fact that we are looking at this dry air mass eventually getting saturated once these bands of snow begin to develop. But right now, we're beginning to see snow to our western counties and perhaps our southwestern counties in the next 30 minutes or so. Okay, a lot of people are saying nothing yet. Yeah, as we've been saying here on the 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and right now on 19 at noon, is that the atmosphere is just a little too dry at the moment for that snow. And this radar is really overdoing it. I've been trying to get a better, here we go. Let's do that. There we go. That's a little better. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is what we've got right now. So this is doing a much better job. You can see here, flurries, maybe a light snow shower towards Decatur, Franklin County, maybe even towards Riley Township, Morgan Township, and Butler County. Also towards Harrison, maybe a few flakes there, Batesville, Indiana. But otherwise, though, nothing's happening just yet. Again, I was mentioning, this column of air has just been pretty dry for us. But do note, further off to the south and west, we got more of this here. It's beginning to grow. It's beginning to expand as the atmosphere is getting a little bit more saturated. And this is moving in our direction in addition to this. So we're kind of seeing this motion, so to speak, because we got that wave of energy moving in this afternoon. And I'll show you the model data here in just a second. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to show. I'll show you a better one that's actually picking up on this, at least trying to. Andrea, please stop with the snow. Hey, we do have a break in the snow in the 7-day forecast. I'll show you that here in a few minutes. Trey asking, how are roads looking like tomorrow night? Well, tomorrow, we're not looking at snow during the day, so road crews can get a pretty good grip on cleaning a lot of those area roadways. I would say watch out for side streets, maybe rural roads for tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, Trey. But I do think a lot of main roads should be fine by then. Yeah. Okay, More people saying they're not seeing snow yet. We appreciate those comments because I like to see the ground truth. Hey, there we go. Missy says snowing in Vivi, Indiana. So yes, we're beginning to see that snow moving into our south and west and our western counties. So again, the timing is on track with what we've been saying. So I think things are going to pick up for most of the Fox 19 Now viewing area by 3 o'clock. We'll show you that in the model data here in a second. I need to catch up on these comments because we got a lot of them. Somebody asking my age. Do I look 25? If so, I'm flattered. I'm 30. Must got the right genes to make me look young. All right. People are asking about when are the roads going to be hazardous today? When can we see the snow? When are we looking at issues? So let's go ahead and just do just that. So here's our forecast model. This is right now. It's doing a little overdone, but it's kind of showing the general trend. It's a model. It's a tool. It's not going to be 100% accurate. But we are looking at, again, those shades of blue over to the west. That's where we're beginning to see light snow, and that is right in here. So that's where we're beginning to see snow at. This is going to move over the Cincinnati metro area closer to the 1 o'clock hour here at this point. So we'll play this forward in time. There's 12:30. We go into 1, 2 o'clock. You can see it's covered the majority of the Cincinnati metro area, beginning to move into portions of southwest Ohio from Claremont, Brown, Adams County, over towards Butler County, towards Hamilton. This is closer to the 2 o'clock hour. And you can see further off to the south and west for our bottom left of the screen, snow showers will be on and off and continue for folks towards Owen, Carroll, Gallatin, Switzerland, Ripley, Decatur counties. And that's going to be again at 2 o'clock. We go forward in time, 3, 4 o'clock. At this point, everyone's seeing snow, at least some amount of snow. Do note, though, there are breaks here. This is around 3, 4 o'clock, so there will be scattered. Again, this is a system that's trying to push into really dry air. And that dry air is eventually going to be taken over. It's going to saturate it. But in the meantime, this is kind of the battle with the snow bands versus the dry air. The snow's going to win. After 3 o'clock, we're going to begin to see this take over and become widespread. So here's 5, 6 o'clock. Do note those little dry spots, they're going away. It's because we've got a lot of blue on the map. And do note, too, we are looking at these darker shades of blue right in here. That is some of that moderate snow that we could see from this particular system. We'll play this out. You can see it continues going into the evening. Of course, Frank Marzullo will be tracking all of that on the 7:15 weather show, as well as at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock tonight here on Fox 19. But we are looking at this beginning to dissipate after 11 o'clock, becoming widely scattered. I would even call it isolated in nature, but we're still looking at maybe a few flurries, light snow showers overnight, which could provide some additional slick spots, especially on bridges and overpasses or on untreated roadways. So we head into Saturday morning. Most of the activity will be gone at this point. Still a few flurries will be possible heading into Saturday during the day, but Saturday it's just going to be a cloudy day. We're not looking at any additional impacts. So the impacts we're seeing this evening will be the greatest, and then tonight it'll be dependent on the effort of the road crews and how far they accomplish clearing the roadways going into Saturday morning before we kind of get a pinpoint as to how road conditions will be. But the good news is Saturday, we're not looking at additional snowfall. So that's some good news. But back roads, side roads, untreated roads, Saturday, still going to bring in some headaches. But main roads, I believe, should be okay with that. So maybe the map didn't do it for you. Let's show you the timeline here. So this is going to show you what we kind of expect. So between now and 3 o'clock, that snow is developing. As I said, we're beginning to see those developments showing up to our west and southwest. We got the reports on our Facebook comments. Decatur County and over towards Vivi, Indiana, so Switzerland County, beginning to see snow. So we need to stick to the roadways. After 3 o'clock, that's when things become a bit more widespread. We're going to be looking at some travel issues because some roadways are going to get covered. You get caught in the band of moderate snow, which we could see over Cincinnati. That is going to quickly accumulate to the point where the road crews might be overwhelmed temporarily, to where those roadways will be covered up. It's going to create a lot of slowdowns. After 10 o'clock, conditions will start to improve in a sense of less snow coverage and allows road crews to kind of jump ahead on clearing those area roadways into Saturday morning. Untreated roadways, of course, will still have impacts going into late tonight into Saturday morning and Saturday during the daytime hours. Though Saturday is going to be mainly a cloudy day here in the tri-state. All right. All right, Angel says we know that there isn't snow yet, but yeah, that's why I showed you the timeline. After 3 o'clock, we're going to see everyone seeing some amount of snow. Look at my Facebook page real quick, at Ethan Emery WX, before we move along. Because we've got to show you the 7-day forecast, of course, and the rest of that weekend forecast here in just a moment. Shannon says it's not doing anything in Milan, Indiana, but it's snowing pretty heavy in Greenwood, Indiana. That's, I believe, is outside the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Darla asking about if we could see or another get a big snow just like Sunday or Monday. Right now, I don't think that's the case right now, but of course, that's something we can discuss later at a different time when we don't have the first start weather day over top of us. No snow yet in Owen County. Dennis says that. Thank you, Dennis, for the report. All right. Andrea asking, is it going to snow Monday? A few flurries, light snow showers, yes, but we're not looking at anything impactful showing up on Monday. In fact, let's do that now, and then we'll show you the 7-day forecast, loop back to the first start weather day information, and then we'll have to close things off here for our 19 at noon. So here is the forecast model. It's doing a fairly decent job showing you between noon, 1 o'clock, snow begins to move into the Cincinnati metro area. We'll play this out this afternoon and this evening, widespread after 3, 4 o'clock. That'll continue until after 10 p.m., and then we're going to eventually see drier air work in for our Saturday. And then we go into the remainder of the weekend, things will be dry for Sunday. We head into Monday, we're looking at a weak cold front moving through with regards to moisture. It's going to be a strong cold front with regards to temperatures, but not a lot of moisture. So this is Monday. You can see here a lot of cloud cover, but just not much moisture associated with it. But I do think we could see a few flurries, light snow showers Monday. Monday does not look to be a first weather day. Does not look to be impactful for Monday, January 13th. We'll go forward in time here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all cold, all dry. And then we go on into next weekend, and we are looking at a system moving through. And this system has a lot of question marks for January 18th, 19th into MLK Day. There are just a lot of question marks with regards to temperature and the position of the low. So too far to talk about any specifics with that. But it is going to bring us some amount of moisture. It's just a question of whether it be rain, wintry precipitation mix, or snow. But right now, we're going to say that the temperatures are going to be just right for maybe some wintry mix. You'll see that here on the 14-day forecast here in just a moment. So we're going to show you the 7-day, the 14-day, and then we're going to go back to the timeline and the model data, and then we got to close things off here for 19 at noon. So here is your 7-day forecast. Today's high is 27 degrees. We got that afternoon snow moving in. Saturday, morning flurries, otherwise cloudy. A day where the road crews can jump the gun to the point where we are going to be seeing a lot of roadways hopefully much more clearer as we go into the latter half of the weekend. Sunday, finally above freezing, a high of 33 after a morning low of 15 degrees. Monday, a few flurries. Again, Monday, not an impact day, just blustery out there, 32 degrees with, again, a few flurries possible. Tuesday, partly cloudy, the high of 20. Wednesday, 22. Thursday, 28 with morning lows in the single digits. That's your 7-day forecast. Now let's go beyond the 7-day forecast. And we are looking at, again, temperatures going above freezing going into the weekend of MLK Day. We've got that system moving in. It's going to bring us, again, the potential for rain, even rain-snow mix. And then eventually the colder air will win out to the point we are looking at flurries and snow showers for daily chances for that week of MLK Day. So January 21st, 22nd, and, of course, the 23rd. So that is, again, the 14-day forecast. Frank will dive into this as well as the snowfall amounts we've been seeing so far today, tonight at 7:15 for our weekday evening weather show. So let's go back to the impact timeline, show the forecast model data, and then we're going to have to hop off of here. So here is that impact timeline. Between now and 3 o'clock, snow begins to move in. Right now it's light, showing up in Decatur, Switzerland, Carroll counties, but eventually we're all going to see this widespread after 3 o'clock for the majority of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. After 3 o'clock, looking at widespread scattered snow showers, some of which could be moderate, will accumulate, going to create travel issues. Snow-covered roads, even on main roads, it wouldn't be for a long-term duration, but enough to where it could be overwhelming for road crews and for travelers here this afternoon and this evening. After 10 o'clock, the moderate snow moves out. We're looking at just isolated light snow showers, maybe a few flurries. Untreated roads or snow-covered roads will be still dealing with lingering impacts, but Saturday during the day, I think the roadways will be much better once road crews can get a jump on that. And then one last look at our forecast model, and then we're going to have to log off here to get ready for Now the Natty coming up at 12:30. So there's that impact timeline. Let's now jump to our forecast model. The forecast model here is doing a fairly decent job showing you the location of where those snow showers are beginning. So we go into 1, 2 o'clock. We're going to see that overtake the Cincinnati metro area, areas to our south and east towards Maysville, Falmouth, Mount Olivet, Vanceburg, over towards Brooksville, Kentucky. And then by 2, 3 o'clock, going to widespread over to our eastern counties, so towards Wilmington, Lebanon, Mount Orab, West Union, Peebles, also towards Lebanon, Middletown. Going to see this between 2, 3 o'clock. After 3 o'clock, there it is, a bit more widespread, especially widespread for 5, 6 p.m., which is unfortunate timing, as that'll be around sunset, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to see icy patches or slushy snow-covered roadways. We go into 7, 8 o'clock, still widespread, but after 10 o'clock, the widespread activity begins to break down, becoming isolated, heading into the overnight hours and to our Saturday morning. So, take one last look at our Facebook comments. And see if we got any other additional things. Ricky, I showed you about the 7-day forecast a moment ago. If you missed it, at the conclusion of this, you can go back and watch it. All right, we got no additional comments at this point that I need to address at this point. So we're going to close things off. We're going to do a break-in on coverage on the air at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And, of course, we're going to have coverage at 3 o'clock. It'll be myself as well as Frank looking at the snow shower activity moving in and road conditions throughout the tri-state. Again, that's all coming up at 3 o'clock here at Fox 19. We'll keep you posted on the First Alert Weather app as that snow moves in across the tri-state. Have a great afternoon.